We can read, create art, wander the world and witness its charm. Yet, we condemn ourselves to suffer and rot in pointless bickering, thrusting ourselves into the stench of idiocies and trivialities of our own and also of those that suffer in the same unforgivable act of squandering away the preciousness of time and life. These words found me on the morning of the 2nd of December as my eyes were fixed on my beloved bookshelf. My eyes drifted off to the emptiness on its side after I realized how it was left unattended for many weeks, wondering when my love for it turned to neglect. Even the emptiness my eyes were fixed on reminded me of some failed ambitions and plans to fill it with a rug, a mat, maybe a cushioned bench, the kind you would sink into with a book in hand, while light comes pouring in from the windows, whose curtains I want to change as well. But you see, my friend, I have been fussing more about ambience than the words I long to write or the books I ate to read. In a way, that's what aesthetics seems to be all about, an excuse and an escape of a struggling artist, a false attempt to fix the world within by rearranging the one around. Sometime during these musings, I scribbled the opening lines of this letter. They were raw at first and clumsy in their arrangement, and that's okay, because drafts, like life itself, are riddled with flaws and imperfections. With some thoughtfulness, the words that were meek and dangling were sharpened, and something meaningful escaped out of them. At the end of it all, I leaned back in the chair and read those words out in an altered, deeper voice, imagining myself decades older, as if speaking to a bunch of young audience who mistake my altered voice to be a sign of wisdom and intellect. Dumb young ones, I want to say, but one need not remain young to act so. We keep that trait, being dumb, I mean, own it, and even love it, like the one who broke our hearts the first time. As I wandered through the lanes of thought, some my own, others borrowed, I stumbled across the words of a German philosopher with a fancy name, Schopenhauer. We look upon the present as something to be put up with, serving only as the way towards our goals, only to be surprised to find that the very thing we let slip by, unenjoyed, was meant to be the life. Perhaps it was these words, the strength, power, and conviction they held, that led me to the very words at the beginning of this letter. I was at a writer's meetup a few days ago when I was in Bengaluru, and one of the discussions was about how reading influences your writing. Well, no surprises there. It sure does. And as someone who usually finds his writing lifeless and lacking passion, I do sometimes find my own words to shine back at me to make me think, yes, I can write too, and write well, even though rarely so. And the restlessness that has been growing, the one that demands me to be out and elsewhere again, will thankfully be doused in a few days. Unlike my previous trips, it's going to have the company of cousins, a few kids, and a charming little toddler as well. In the next letter, my friend, I shall tell you about the tire fitter, and then, my dear friend, you must help me decide whether he's real or just a figment of my illusionary mind. Until my next letter, your friend, Brooding Brook.